hey, 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 hey. Nope. Give me that. Give me that. Hey guys, it's Rhett from the 100 Acre Wood Highlands. One of the things that we do on our farm to keep our cows healthy and keep them free from parasites is to worm them a couple of times a year. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the couple of different wormers that we've used in the past, and now I'm going to give this Purina worming cubes a try today and see if my cows love them just as much as they do regular protein cubes, because I think that'll be a great way for us to manage parasites here on our farm in the future. Let's check it out. So the cows are in this pasture right now, up close to my house. This is where I can kind of keep a better eye on them, fill up their water troughs when they need it. We had our first frost just recently, and so the grass is basically dead. We're starting to feed hay now and kind of beginning our winter. December 1st is just in a couple of days, and for us, we kind of feed hay beginning of December through the middle of April. And worming your cows is a really important thing because cows can pick up parasites from the grasses that they eat out in the pasture throughout the summertime. So parasites can be internal and external. An external parasite would be like face flies or horn flies, and those are kind of their own challenge to deal with. But internal parasites are things like worms that they pick up from eating, and it affects their gut. It can affect their appetite, it can affect their immunity, it can affect their growth rate, their reproductive ability, and so it's really important that we treat them for worms a couple of different times a year. Look at our new Hallie and Bernadette nursing there. I think Hallie's got a bit of a milk mustache going on. So I am not a vet, but I let my vet take care of worming my calves for me. We take our calves in to get vaccines for a few different things when they're a few months old, and as part of that vaccines, they also give a worming treatment, and that is something that is really important for young calves, especially so that their growth rate is not effective and they can reach their full potential. Older cows, worming is not quite as critical, although we still want to make sure that we treat for it just in case they pick up any kind of parasites. But I don't worm my calves myself. Hallie's a cute little calf, isn't she? Hungry little girl, huh? She's so cute. I'm excited about this little heifer calf. I'd like to get her, she'll let me get close to her, but she doesn't really want me to touch her yet. Where her mom, Bernadette, she's real calm. Let's see if I can sneak up. Does that scare you? I think that's the first time I've touched Hallie. So we worm in the fall. Right after the first frost, when they've really kind of stopped grazing on the grass that's out in the pasture so much, that's when we're going to aim for worming, and then we're probably going to do it again in the spring, kind of after some calves are born, if you're having spring calves. So although the cows really never stop grazing, because they'll graze on this dead stuff even if there are hay bales out for them, now is the right time for us to do worming. So I'm going to show you the couple of different types of wormers that I've used in the past, and then we're going to see how the cows like this newest worming cattle cube. So the first type of wormer that I used on our farm when we got our first 4 bred cows was a ivermectin pour-on. This is a mostly empty bottle from actually a couple of years ago that I've just still had in the barn. It's probably expired now and we're not using it anymore. But you know, ivermectin, you may not have heard of this until last year or so, where now it seems like everybody's heard of this, but it is a cattle medication that we use to treat for parasites. So this says it kills roundworms, lungworms, grubs, sucking lice, biting lice, mange mites, and horn flies. And it is nice because you dose it 1 milliliter per 22 pounds of body weight. So it has a measuring cup up top. You squeeze that and fill it to the right dosage, and then you pour it on down their backs. And when I just had 4 cows, this worked out to be a pretty good solution, because a couple of those cows would let me come just right up to them, and I'd squeeze the bottle and pour it right down their backs, and I know they got the right amount of medicine. A couple of those cows didn't want me to have anything to do with pouring something on their back, and I didn't really have the greatest corral system, chute system, alley system, and I try to handle the cows in a really low stress environment for both them and me. And there was a couple of them that they just this spooked them. They did not want this on them, and doing it by myself was difficult. If I had a great system set up where I could get them in an alley or get them in a chute where they're kind of contained and can't really get away, then I think I would go back to using this. But since I don't have this set up, I switched to something different for the next year. So the next kind of wormer that I used the following year was a Safeguard wormer block. And I've got it set up here right now on one of our loose mineral stations. I've got a couple of different ones of these throughout some of the pastures where there's salt and some other minerals inside of it that we'll talk about on a different video. But what was nice about these wormer blocks is that they're just free choice. You put them out where they're typically grazing, where they're lounging around, an area that they're going to be in, and it's basically a medicated molasses block that they will come and lick on and ingest the medicine. The problem with this is that I don't know if it's just one cow that's eating the whole molasses block or if they're all getting the appropriate amount. So it was kind of difficult to tell, are they really getting treated how I want them to or not? But this was an easier and less stressful way than pouring on that medicine on their back. So this block is a different active ingredient than the ivermectin. And basically, take the top off here. It's got instructions which you should read on top. If you take the top off, cut these sides off, it's just a molasses block inside that they can come up and lick on. You didn't let me get all the cardboard off first. Hey. So here's a little calf getting a lick of salt. They come up, stick their heads underneath the flap. The flap helps keep the water out, and they come get a little bit of minerals whenever they need it. So I put that molasses block near one of these stations. One of the other things is it's difficult to get all the cardboard off of it, and so I didn't like that about those blocks, but Rosie over there has already found it and has started eating on it. Hey, get out of that cardboard box. Remember my message about make sure you pick up your trash? Curious calf. Give me that. That's mine. Silly cows. Hey. Hey, 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 hey. Nope. Give me that. Give me that. Make sure I don't get kicked. You must have heard me rattle the cubes, didn't you? So I recently found out in the past few months or so that Purina and maybe some other makers make a medicated dewormer cube. Now my cows love cubes. Actually, they're all coming up to look because I just picked up this bag and it made a little rustling noise. But if I drive this Ranger out in the pasture and start hollering for the cows or shake one of these bags, they will come running wherever they are. They're ready for it. So this treats the same stuff. It's the same active ingredient as was in that medicated block. It says it's a broad spectrum parasite defense, effective dewormer for internal parasites, fast acting one-day treatment, flexible and convenient for hand-fed cubes to treat when needed. So since I already know that my cows love cubes, I think this might be a really good solution. There's still a little bit of a challenge of making sure they each get the right amount. So it's got a whole set of instructions right here on the back. For cow-calf operations, we're going to do it in the fall. We're probably going to do it again in the spring, possibly midsummer. And there is a weight instruction and how much you give them, and a total number of animals that will be treated based off their weight. So right now I have 8 full-grown adult cows. I have 5 heifers that are not quite full-grown but are getting there, and then we have 5 calves. And so I think I probably need slightly more than 1 bag to treat all of them. But what I'm going to attempt to do, if I can get in here without them just mobbing me like crazy, is pouring out small piles stretched out over a long distance. That way they have the best chance of getting the adequate amount. And this will be our wormer treatment for the year. So you guys have heard me talk about cattle cubes before. I don't know why they're called cubes, because they are not shaped like a cube at all. They're shaped like a cylinder. People call them cake, but it is a 20% protein supplement that's medicated. Let's take a look at what they look like. They look just like any other regular cattle cube. Hey Rosie, want one of those? Pass the taste test. Looks good. Okay. Well, Rosie approves, so now we'll see what the rest of them think. They're ready. Now, this bag of cubes was not cheap. I got it from my feed store. It had been back ordered. Oh, hit my gun and a bullet fell out. It had been back ordered at my feed store for the past month or so. I was going to feed it a little while back, but it was about $60 for 1 bag. So it might be a little bit more expensive to treat than buying those the blocks or the pour on, especially if you had a whole lot of cows. But for me, I think this is going to be a good solution. Get back! Get back! Come on! Come on! Just get out of the way. Dusty. Well, this group up here is kind of bunched up, but some of them have started to spread out and find some of the other piles. Moose, you got yourself a pile? Dusty, you got yourself a good pile. This is Jasper. I didn't pick Jasper's name. That was the name that she had when we purchased her. We got her and 2 of her sisters from Nebraska, and the 2 other heifers were sold at auction for a fundraiser for the South Central Highland Cattle Association, and they just recently went on to be on their new homes. But Jasper, I think, has got a really dark, pretty color. We're excited about having her here. Come here, Bernadette. Come here, Bernadette. I got you. Right here. Right here, girl. Here, girl. There you go. There you go. There you go, Bernadette. Oh, they're coming. Oh, 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 oh. Don't want to get run over. Bernadette, here. Bernadette. Here, here, here. There you go. So they're all starting to space out, get some. Kind of like I thought, the little calves really aren't paying much attention to the cubes at all. They might go in there and get a couple, but what I wanted was for the adult cows and heifers to get that cubes. The little calves, they're just kind of interested in getting some milk and goofing around. So they appear to like it. They're eating it pretty good. I think this is going to be our new worming treatment. So for your cows, don't forget, they can get parasites. They need wormed periodically. Talk to your vet to figure out what the best schedule and product is to use for you. But I think we're going to use these Purina cubes for now. As long as I can find them for 60 bucks a bag to do twice a year or so, I think it's going to be a pretty good solution. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to our channel. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching 100 Acre Wood Highlands. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Did you get a cube?